Welcome once again to Noir Alley. Now, if I was thinking straight, I would have saved today's movie for the end of the year. But given that I went stir-crazy weeks ago, you'll have to forgive me for not wanting to wait any longer to see this film. It's Three Strangers, released by Warner Brothers in 1946. It makes sense to show it at the end of the year because the tale revolves around a fateful New Year's Eve pact entered into by, you guessed it, three strangers. In this case, Peter Lorre, Sidney Greenstreet, and Geraldine Fitzgerald. Now, this film doesn't show up on too many lists of classic noir, and I suspect that's because it has a supernatural vibe that for some people puts it outside the genre, like the movie I showed last New Year's Eve, Repeat Performance. But I don't really buy that. To me, the film sets up the notion of otherworldly intervention in human affairs, but it remains ambiguous about whether such things actually exist. This is not It's a Wonderful Life. What's featured here are human motivations typically found at the heart of noir tales: greed, deceit, desperation, chicanery, and in this case, madness. John Huston wrote the original story in 1936, well before he'd scored his first big success writing and directing The Maltese Falcon. Huston was living in London and had bought several tickets for the annual Irish Sweepstakes, which was an international lottery held to benefit Irish hospitals, in which people could win big cash prizes if their lotto number matched a winning horse in the Irish Derby. Huston imagined a story about a trio of ne'er-do-wells who go in together on a single ticket, believing good fortune will be granted to them by an exotic Asian idol, Kuan Yin. Warner Brothers bought the story, but never made the film. Until The Maltese Falcon was a big hit. That's when the studio, looking for a follow-up, pulled Huston's treatment out of mothballs. Wait a minute. Desperate characters obsessed with a rare statue and the fortune it might bestow? Huston had unwittingly written a follow-up to The Maltese Falcon before he'd even made the original. The plan was to reunite Huston, Humphrey Bogart, Mary Astor, Sidney Greenstreet, and Peter Lorre. But as it turned out, Bogart wasn't available. He was still shooting The Big Sleep on other Warner sound stages. Nor was John Huston able to direct. He was on active military duty. But the studio came up with a creative solution. It gave Bogart's part, laconic wise guy Johnny West, to Peter Lorre. He'd played leads before in Germany as well as a Hollywood picture, 1943's The Mask of Demetrios. But this was the first time Lorre would be a romantic lead, with young Joan Loring as his love interest, the wonderfully named Icy Crane. Lorre was 41, Loring was 19. Before you tisk-tisk, when they fell in love, Humphrey Bogart was 45 and Lauren Bacall was 19. With the shift in casting, the Peter Lorre part went to actor Peter Whitney, who goes all out with a faux Cockney accent, something I doubt Lorre would have attempted. Echoes of The Falcon continued with the casting of Sidney Greenstreet in the role of shady solicitor Jerome K. Arbuthnot. To me, this is Greenstreet's finest performance to date. He's amusingly comical one moment and tragically pathetic only heartbeats later. It's acting of the highest order. Other connections to The Maltese Falcon are might-have-beens. Director Jean Negulesco was set to direct The Falcon until John Huston pulled rank and made it his directorial debut. Here, Negulesco replaced Huston. As for Geraldine Fitzgerald, in 1940, she was Huston's first choice to play Bridget O'Shaughnessy. Schedules didn't fall right, however, and Mary Astor took the part and ran with it. Now, no disrespect to her, but watching Geraldine Fitzgerald's spellbinding performance as Crystal Shackelford will have you wondering if she might have been an even sexier and more sinister foil for Sam Spade. The plot gives Crystal none of the overt sexual shenanigans you get in a lot of noir, but she is, without a doubt, a femme fatale of the first rank. Gorgeous, stylish, devious, and completely unhinged. Three Strangers has an unusual structure, bringing its mismatched trio together on a fateful night, then following their separate stories over the course of many months, building to an inevitable reunion. It's three character studies, really, linked by either fate or chance. You get to decide. It's set in London in 1938, and when I said it starts on New Year's Eve, let me be precise. It starts on January 31st, 1938, eve of Chinese New Year, when legend has it that Kuan Yin, the goddess of fate and destiny, will grant the wishes of those who open their hearts to her and are pure of faith and spirit. But seeing as this is Noir Alley, what are the odds of that? You are about to find out. Here is Three Strangers. Or should that be, here are three strangers.